time. These magazines wanna feature me, cause they know I'm on the rise. But the attention, I'm on a mission. Cause ever since I flipped that switch, my power can't be denied. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. Pay attention, I'm on a mission. Man with a vision. Got a passion. Making it happen. Ready for action. And this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. This is my world now. Hey! Here we go! We coming ready or not, you better steady yourself, because we're raising some hell. There's nothing keeping this roof from blowing off. We're taking over the town, hit the switch and shut it down. Like lithium, we're electric, never stop. We coming ready or not, we coming ready or not. We're giving all that we got, we're giving all that we got. We're coming ready or not. We're throwing gas on the fire, the stratosphere getting high. We're trouble when we get crazy, we get wild.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to coverage of iRacing on LSRTV. We're at the virtual Dover Motor Speedway. And after a week off to recharge, reset, and get ready to go again, we're set here at the 1-mile concrete jungle that is Miles the Munster, Dover Motor Speedway. Whatever kind of analogies you want to describe it, it will be an exciting, fun race, and survival will be key for these drivers tonight. I'm Wesley Outland. Justin Prince is alongside. Charles Wooten is working on our broadcast production. Justin, I know you've been feeling a little bit under the weather, but man, one thing for certain, I think Dover Motor Speedway is not going to disappoint tonight.
And it's a track, mind you, where you need to be at your best of abilities, to say the very least, because it's a racetrack where Miles the Monster will eat your tires and make sure you end up paying if you burn up those tires early on in a run. At a track like Dover, the main focal point of this track for many of these competitors, making sure you preserve tires, because it's one of the few tracks on the circuit where you can absolutely blow your right front tire out over the course of a green flag run.
We're watching qualifying on track right now as the Walla Walla, Washington driver of the 00, Kevin Smith, working around here in the CLICKIT RV race team entry for Win Racing. Devin West is ready to come on track. By the way, there has been 5 different winners in the 6 races so far. Ryan Bloom, most recent winner, and the driver that has 2 wins compared to everyone else's single win. And if that's not enough for Ryan Bloom, Justin, after a week off, he comes into tonight's event with a 39-point lead over Jeff Stabnow.
Yeah, it's been an intriguing season to say the very least, but Bloom's been very, very, very consistent. There's a reason he leads the point standings by 39 points over Stabnow. It's been that consistency up towards the front. But Stabnow's had the consistency of being in the teens much of the time. it's similar to what we talked about the last time out for the Truck Series, where despite the fact he's got just the one top 10, because right around 13th, 14th, 15th in the points, to be able to score them rather, that's been the major benefit compared to some of those who have ran to the front half of the races, but also struggled and finished in the 20s in the other half of the races. Consistency wins championships, and drivers like Stab now have proved that even though he's not been running up the front, it's just been that consistency of running solid top 15s.
And speaking of Jeff Stab now, he's on the track right now qualifying here in the 24 LSRTV 4K CRN Ford. And we'll see what type of lap he puts down. 23.317 on lap number 1. Jeff Stab now on the clock. He's right behind Ryan Bloom in the points, and right now qualifies 23rd on lap number 1. Man, he's got to pick it up. And here comes a two-time Truck Series champion of the Northwest, Shelton Washington Stan West Jr. And Jeff Stab now picks up lap number 2, Justin. He'll move to the top 5 with a 22.56.
West Jr. looking fairly competitive. Track position so critical here, hence why so many of these drivers are trying to attack this track at a very efficient level. Dan West Jr. for reference in final practice, second quickest. West Jr. might be able to break up that Win Racing dominance up towards the front if he can nail this qualifying run, but also keep up long run. It's so consistent already up in qualifying, one of the better times, top 10.
Remember, this is also getting everybody prepared and ready for the Road to Pro qualifying race tonight. And round number 4 of the eNASCAR Road to Pro Split 2 qualifying race will be here from Dover on Thursday night. You can check that on simulcast on iRacing, on LSRTV and the FTN network. That'll be on Thursday night with Terry Radford, Daniel Falkingham, and Jason Rockefeller on the call. Dan West Jr. just finishing up with his qualifying lap. Put him now to 4th, bumping Stab now, his teammate, to 5th. And here comes the man with a bullseye on his chest in the meat of the heart of the schedule, if you will. The number 25 Chevrolet from Boise, Idaho. 2 wins on the year, and the points leader, Ryan Bloom.
He's been very difficult to beat when it comes to his consistency. He's been up at the front just about every single race. Mind you, his worst finishes happened in the 20s, but that start of the season at the super speedway. Since we left the super speedways of Daytona and Atlanta, he's been 7th, 3rd, 1st, and 1st in terms of his races in best finishing order. He's been someone who's led every single race this season. That is a very hard distinction. Oh, by the way, he's averaging a 1.8 starting spot this year.
Oh, and by the way, he just climbed 2nd on his qualifying lap number 2, 22.44 for the number 25 of Ryan Bloom. Dennis Moore, 22.40. And it looks like, will there be any more takers to come out to qualify? Well, looks like we've got a couple of... One more, John Brightsman. Here comes the 46 from Puyallup, Washington originally. Now resides in Tucson, Arizona, the Brights Boutique. LSRTV CRN 46 Chevrolet, Brian Sean Brightsman. Toyota, we'll see what he can do on track. The Toyota, number 46 of Sean Brightsman.
Oh, this is not looking good. Already very loose, and that might botch his qualifying run. His tires now heated up despite the save though, Wesley. Can he find the speed he needs to get to? He did run a 5 in practice. That'd be good enough for the top 3 if he could do it again. Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, I was going to say, what a save, though, for the driver in the number 46, just to keep from wrecking. And it's going to hurt, though, in his qualifying lap, as right now he's going to be in the top 30 right now at 27th. Couple of other trucks, Tyler Kim, Chad Malik, BJ Tidrick, have yet to come on course. Of the 30 entrants that are attempting to run here for 120 laps, 120 miles, here at Dover Motor Speedway. Real quickly, let's take a look at the Kaufman Creative weather conditions leading up to this event here. 70 degrees in the virtual sim for the air temp. Wind speed is nice and comfortable, 1-2 mile an hour wind speed. Track temp, though, Justin, close to 30 degrees warmer than the air temp, Sam, and it's going to be at 98 degrees. It's going to be crazy on the tires, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and the thing is, noticing already it's getting hotter and hotter. That went up 1 degree just after Sean Bryceman's qualifying run completed. So temperatures may get into the low to mid 100s during the green flag run. And since it's concrete, the track responds much differently compared to the pavement. And in turn, that is going to make it such a more difficult task as these tires warm up and as this track starts to cook them.
By the way, before we get ready to go to green flag racing, I would like to extend a very happy birthday to the wife of Toby Ritters. Of course, big shout out to Bailey Ritters. She is celebrating a birthday today. She is one of the longtime fans of the Northwest Racing Series for trucks, Xfinity Cup, ARCA, on iRacing on LSRTV. And Justin, we just want to give her a big, big happy birthday wish as she gets ready to wrap up her Monday, April the 24th.
Let's see, Toby Ritters have a lot of supporters. The family always watching along with the races. Starting 17th today, yes, but Ritters has been having his best truck season, in my opinion, of his campaign. Arguably, one of his best Northwest Racing Series campaigns so far.
Well, let's get to it. Maybe birthday wishes could help Clifford win today. Here's your starting lineup for round 7 of the Northwest Racing Series trucks presented by CLICKIT RV. Dennis Moore and Win Racing on the front row, along with Ryan Bloom in the 25. Row number 2, Ryan Gormley in the 22. And Tyler King, the truck champion of last year, starts 4th. Row 3, two-time truck champion from Shelton, Washington, Dan West Jr., and the Billings, Montana driver, the 24 of Jeff Stabnow in his Ford. Row 4, Devin West in the 5, and a driver that's really improved as of late, Brett Johnson in the number 7. Top 10 at Dover, Briar Reynolds in the 12, and Troy Daggett, 99.
Behind them, Jaden Ledbetter starting the 11th position tonight. Frank Harris starts off in 12th on row 6. Row 7, Dan Lowther starts 13th. Roy Grande looks to charge ahead from 14th. Behind them in row 8, it's Robert Gambill to the inside, just a position back of his teammate from Aerokinetics, Devin O'Hare, 16th. Toby Ritter starts at 17th. Clifford starts alongside Carl Berg. Different colored look tonight. Running at the top 20 starting spots, Chris White with the new paint scheme, this time the 47 truck, and Kevin Smith in 20th.
Row 11, Aaron Cooper, the 71. John Onnenbacher, the 89 from Billings, Montana. Row 12, James Vining, the Catman, the 333, and Stephen Paulison in 58. Row 13 will find William Fletcher and Chris Kynes in the 20. Row 14, Sean Breitzman, tough break in qualifying, and BJ Tidrick on the outside. And you round out your top 30, Tyler Kim in the 38, Chad Malik in the 08 machine. Those are your drivers ready to go. Round number 7 here tonight at Dover Motor Speedway. 120 miles, 120 laps the distance. This is a shorter run race than what we've normally done in years past. Normally it's a 200 normally it's a 200 lap race, 200 miles, but to mimic the Road to Pro eNASCAR program and format, if you will, Justin, they condensed the laps, 120 laps the distance.
And it was already talked about in the drivers' meeting, wanting to give drivers the opportunity to test their setups, get a feel for the RTP race on Thursday. But in turn, these drivers running for a major challenge, already getting all set to go for the green.
Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom, Win Racing on the front row. Ready to come to the green flag. 120 laps, 120 miles. Who will tame Miles the Monster at Dover? You have a virtual race. We're underway.
Well, and Ryan Bloom already passing the pole sitter, Dennis Moore, on the outside before the start and finish line. How will this play out? Normally, you're not allowed to pass the leader before the start and finish line. We'll see how race control plays this with Bloom up front.
Keep an eye on that for sure. As right now, Ryan Bloom, the man that'll lead the opening lap. Teammate Moore right behind him, Gormley and King. Dan West Jr. top 5, and they're single file to the back straightaway.
No indications yet of troubles from Ryan Bloom. Still, Tyler King looking to keep up with Gormley. So far, most of the drivers stayed stationary, but already most of the drivers trying to find that double diamond off to 1 and 2 again.
There's Stapp now. Down to the inside behind Dan West Jr. Devin West, Son West, reeling into Daddy and Stabnow's truck. That's going on in the top 10. Still, Ryan Bloom leads him under massive cloud cover at the drop of the green flag.
Already dropping the track temperature 6 degrees already. Stabnow amongst those trying to sort things together. A very difficult track to pass. The patient levels starting to already settle in a little bit as they ride through 3 and 4. No major changes in the top 8. Your biggest mover is still +2 in the first 4 laps.
Ledbetter now after Johnson's spot. This is going on in the top 10. They're all single file again, as we mentioned. Johnson, one of the new members of the Team LSRTV CRN group, down to the bottom of the racetrack. Battles Ledbetter as they're side by side to 3.
Some drivers describing this in the past week when it comes to Dover. It's the battle of how much do you want to save for the first 20 laps? Seen that, some of the drivers like Johnson wanted to go. Brian Reynolds just up the road, passes Devin West in his first Truck Series race this season. West, the younger Devin West, making his first start of the red covers. His father, Dan West Jr., still trying to find a way around Tyler King out of 4.
Back into turn number 1. And there's King and West. That's going on for 4th and 5th spot. Coming off the back straightaway now to the Dryden Ally Bridge to 3. Gotta wonder the massive cloud cover what it's doing to these trucks right now. Starting to see some sun poke out back on the front straightaway here in virtual Dover. Finally, all of this just shaking up the pack as they work into 2.
There's no troubles for Ryan Bloom. He still holds on to the race lead. How long is the clear question? Dennis Moore over the back of him. Also down the back straight away. Everybody going side by side of the teens. Kevin Smith-Munstall stuck on the high side. Leading up the group inside. O'Hare clips the apron. That's for 14th and Robert Campbell. He brings Toby Ritters with him as into the wall goes the 54 truck.
Gamble in the fence for Aerokinetics. We'll see how much damage is on his machine. They're allowed 1 fast repair in this race. Meanwhile, Kevin Smith down to the inside of the Gamble truck to clear it. And we're about to be about 10 laps into this race. Carl Burke also trying to make a run.
You do not want to be stuck in the top side. You do not want to have a truck that can't rotate to the bottom off the corner exit with momentum around this track. If you have a tight truck after 35 laps especially, you are likely going backwards. That's why we're seeing so much saving up in the front. And it's curious how those towards the back respond, and in turn, who's saving towards the back to try and gain up to the leaders later on in this run.
O'Hare, Ritters, that's in the top 15. Purple Rain Prince truck of Cooper right there behind them. Toyota mixed in with a couple of Chevrolets as they work their way back through the corner. 10 laps in now. Ryan Bloom is the man up in front. Dennis Moore, Ryan Gormley, Tyler King, Dan West Jr., your top 5, they're in 2.
Down the back straight away, Cooper getting a little bit loose, looking to the inside for a moment on Ritters, not able to do something here. Chris White trying to poke to the outside for a split second. All them back to the bottom by the exit of turn 4. Chris White seeming more comfortable. Aaron Cooper seeming boxed in. Kevin Smith wanting to go despite his damage, trying to force White off the line. Heading into turn 2 side by side.
Yeah, White got up on the top side, and while all that was pushing and shoving going on in front of him, he's got now Smith to deal with as that goes on now for the top 20. Working off of turn 4, flashing by the start-finish line here at the Dover Motor Speedway into turn number 1. Smith gets a run on one. He's going after Cooper also into 2.
Two of the Win Racing trucks making moves. Kevin Smith moves to 17th. Toby Ritter's moving up to 14th. Some aggressive battling for the prior laps. White trying to get it back. Ritter's meanwhile trying to set sail. He did scrape the wall down the back straightaway. No damage though for Clifford.
Holding it together in his wife Bailey celebrating a birthday today. What it would mean for Clifford and that 23 truck to get a win here at Dover tonight. Right now, we see Tyler King, champion of last year, holding off a 2-time champion, Dan West Jr. Stab now. This is in the top 10 right now in the top 5 as they work the 3.
And West Jr. backing up the corners at the moment, letting King try and send it hard into the entries. Starting to provide pressure on the Beaver State Racing truck. West Jr. waiting for the chance. Again, harder on the entry for a bit for King. West Jr. quicker on exit, waiting for the poke. Now he's got the run for the backstretch.
Clear him on the bottom, and he finds the run. King in the Beaver State Racing machine up top. The Cole Bryant Photography Ford losing ground as now Dan West Jr. Teammate Jeff Stabnow clears them now as they work into 1 and 2.
Already drivers over the radio start to report tightness. King losing several spots. Toby Ritter's reporting tightness from 13th. Also Eric Cooper in that respective pack already with damage trying to get back around Chris White. Chris White holding on though, up 3 spots to 16th and looking to try and find his way forward for the Prince truck.
Bloom, Moore, Gormley, West, Stabnow, top 5. Look at now. White battling with Cooper. All of this is transpiring as they work to the back stretch into 3. Ryan Bloom still the man holding on. Dan Lowther battles now with the 18 truck in the back of the pack there as they work off 4 of Roy Grande.
A lot of damaged right rear fenders have noticed though, Wesley, from how many drivers have been pushing tight out of turn 4. That's the common danger spot here. It's so easy to just hit the throttle too early, drive your truck into the wall, and collect several others with you as you go into the inside pit wall. And right now, that's a major disaster sign at a track where you do not want to be one of the first to pit because of the chance of cautions later on because of those hitting the wall out of turn 4.
Yeah, no doubt about it, my friend. You definitely want to just kind of mind your P's and Q's and be patient. There is Ottenbacher right now in the outside the top 20, trying to make a run on Burke to get into the top 20. That's a battle going on, probably the best battle on track at a 1.
Trouble! Carl Burke has just reported
Ottenbacher.
his Carl Burke's steering wheel reportedly goes off as he brings Ottenbacher the wall. Caution is out. Oh my goodness, Wesley.
We were just watching this, and Carl Burke and Ottenbacher were understanding, Justin, the steering wheel came off on the 53. Is what you're hearing?
Over the radio, entering the corner, he's like, I can't move my wheel, I can't move my wheel. And then all of a sudden, he goes straight up the racetrack. He had been talking a bit on the radio, I noticed, for a few laps, letting drivers go. I think the wheel just let go there. Something must have happened to his steering wheel for him to go just straight. He's already out of the race. He's pulled out.
That's heartbreak. That's bad luck right there for the driver of not only Carl Burke, but definitely John Ottenbacher. The only upside is they both are allowed a fast repair. The downside is at Dover, you don't want to get one this early, and you still got 100 laps to go now, Justin Prince.
You know what I also don't like right now? There's only 3 tires since the pits. Ryan Bloom, Jeff Stabnow are the only 2 drivers to stay out. And that is a huge, huge risk. Even if you expect it to go green from here or cautious precautions. Troy Daggett, fuel only, everybody else taking the common call here for tires. Here's the issue with the tire sets, though, to consider. With it being only 3 tire sets, And knowing you have about a 1 stop on the gas, do you take a gamble and take one of your spare set the zeroing? Most of the field said yes.
Rather interesting, no doubt. 24 of 120 laps. Hey, by the way, another feature that always is on our iRacing on LSRTV is our Virginia 811 call before you dig, a caution information summary ticker. And obviously this is our first caution of the race here at the Dover Motor Speedway, formerly known as Dover International Speedway. 2 caution laps are under, and so far no lead changes, by the way, JP, because it's been all Ryan Bloom. Controversial with the start 25 laps ago, but it sounds like it'll stand for the 25 to be the leader.
Here's my major concern with all this too is, how long does it take for him to lose the lead? I think 3 corners. How long of a tire spin may we see in the start box? That is an interesting question, because there is a huge chance we see the front row drivers here really struggle to get up to speed, especially with this being normally a first gear start, depending on your gear ratio. You can't start at first gear with the old tires, or else you're going to loop it in front of the field.
Quick caution as we're about ready to go right back to it here tonight. Justin Prince, I'm Wesley Outlet, Charles Wooten working in our broadcast feed behind the scenes as always. Ready to settle it in here for under 100 to go in this 95 to be exact. They hit the loud pedal, green flag back out the Geico restart zone, and we're back to it again. Round 7 for the Northwest Truck Series presented by CLICKIT RV at Dover. Stab now, under attack, he goes to the outside, he's getting bypassed on the bottom.
Jeff Stabnow caught absolutely sleeping, if anything. A good 1 second later, here to Bloom on the launch. Outside, Tyra King wanting to get the top 5 back does. Already Gormley, the wall in front of him.
Gormley, hold on there. He's in that number 4 position right now as we speak. Trying to survive. And he's after Bloom. New leader. It is Dennis Moore back, the pole truck to the lead as Bloom and Gormley battle.
Bloom right now is just in survival mode. When you're on old tires like this, you can't really defend fully, because that is where you get yourself into major trouble. Bloom under attack by Devin West already. Devin West looking for his first top 5 of this race to the inside. Yes, Ryan Reynolds, next driver up in line with Toby Ritters.
Back across the line, Bloom, first 25 laps, he was the Pied Piper, if you will, Justin, as you say. Right now, falling back, Reynolds inside, Ritters inside of Bloom. All this happening, he's free falling now in the top 10.
Bad news, by the way, for one of the Win Racing trucks, Kevin Smith, who had been making his way through the field, had made it to the midway point of the pack, out of the race. Technical issues again. So the double zero is losing laps currently. Meanwhile, by the way, as all this is cycled out, Sean Breitzman, Chad Malik up double-digit spots, 15 and 70 respectively. Jeff Stabnow amongst those losing spots to the point where he's already past the midway point of the field.
Man, no doubt about it. When it rains, it pours for a driver like Kevin Smith, and it is just diminishing his hopes and chance and shot for a championship drive right now. Dennis Moore, though, for Win Racing is leading. West in second for Team LSRTV. Ryan Gormley third. There's Chris White now climbing into the top 10. He's after Ritters in 1.
Chris White, one of those up double digits with Toby Ritters. Indeed, O'Hare getting very loose behind him, though, several times tonight. And Nicole Bryan photo machine has clipped the apron. All this is while White picks up the tempo. Ritters slides up at a 4, not able to close it up as we look back to Fletcher, trying to make the move on Bloom.
Cloud cover now massively over the racetrack again for the second time as we're working down 32 laps into this race. It is Dennis Moore, Dan West Jr., Ryan Gormley, Tyler King, and Devin West, your top 5, as now Reynolds, Briar Reynolds, Ritters, and White battle into one.
White trying a very different line, going as high as he can to try and dive in the corner off turn 2. Builds up momentum to get underneath Ritters. Not able to get the full commitment down. Ritters with a hard charge in turn for 3. No one able to get alongside each other, though. White has a chance, though, for the front stretch.
Justin, what does the cloud cover do to these trucks, and not only on a short track like a mile here at Dover?
Well, it lowers a bit of the track temperature, first of all. It helps on that front. But second, with that cooler track temperature, it increases the speed a little bit, helps with some of the total grip you have on the racetrack when you consider things. So, in a lot of circumstances, it is something a lot of drivers like to have if their truck is handled perfectly for it. By the way, Chris White underneath Toby Ritters. That's for 7th. Complete.
Back into turn number 3 and 4 now. They're coming back down to the line, and it is Chris White now. Getting sideways was Stephen O'Hare. Battling with Toby Ritters. Brett Johnson is looking on, watching this ensue. Meanwhile, White pulls up in front of them as they're door-to-door to the back straightaway, going to 3.
A lot of different movement through this field in terms of some of the various fields of long run versus mid run versus short run, etc. And already seeing some of the trends. Brightsman, Malik amongst those who had put into that grouping to be solid on the mid run in terms of how they played this race so far. Others like Cooper and so forth have struggled long run. O'Hara has struggled a bit long run. And that means for a lot of these drivers, they might have to go back to the workshop for RTP this Thursday.
Try it again. And remember, on Wednesday night, the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series will not be at Dover. They're road course racing at Mid-Ohio. First road course race of the year. Moore, West, battle for the lead on the back straightaway.
Right now, they are starting to reach a bit of traffic, too, already. Dan Lowther has struggled this entire run after getting several seconds damage repair. Now the leader's impact from this. Lowther choosing the top side. Major issues. Lowther nearly into the wall, in fact, trying to let Dan West Jr. go for second.
Dennis Moore trying to hold off the likes of West and Gorley that are coming after him. Also, in a few more laps, they're going to encounter lap traffic, back marker cars or trucks in front of them. All the while, 40 laps in, 80 to go, 20 to halfway. And what's been, besides that accident between Audenbacher and Carl Burke, a pretty quiet race.
Just as you said, Audenbacher's name, he hit the wall, by the way. Audenbacher has gotten out of the wall, down to the back straightaway. Now he goes. Brightsman and Brett Johnson looking to get around him. Lap traffic can be a huge factor here, Wesley, because it's such a single groove racetrack where that if you end up reaching lap trucks who are battling for position, you can lose several seconds. In my personal experience, I've lost races, lost 5-6 seconds because I couldn't pass one truck in lap traffic for one corner or a few corners, and that becomes your race.
And mind you, still a lot of racing left to go here. And it's been kind of quiet. Miles the Munster has not chewed up or chopped anybody just yet, as we mentioned. Moore, West, Gormley, King, West. That's Father West in second, Son West in third. Now Johnson and Ledbetter battle for the dozen spot as they work off 4.
Johnson very much improved throughout this race today. He has been keeping it very clean. Ledbetter trying to find some momentum, though, when it comes to not just this race, but parts of this season. He showed flashes earlier in the campaign. He's trying to make up for several missed races. Up 7 spots in the points to 17th. Entering the day, Johnson gets very tight on 4. Here comes Ledbetter to the inside into turn 1.
Back to turn number 1, Ledbetter to the bottom. Johnson can't clear, he'll fall back. Goes to the inside, makes that run now on the Ledbetter machine. Nothing there as they work single file back to 3. Johnson up to the top.
And again, the trouble spot with that was when you don't want to go that high into the corner entry. Usually that's a sign you're plowing tight, you're cooking the right front or have cooked it, and struggling just to be able to turn at your normal braking mark. That costs you about a 10th or 2 per lap if you can't stick towards that bottom groove while still achieving a half a line movement for the double diamond.
Inside, look at now this truck. This is the 28 of William Fletcher trying to grab tight of the Aerokinetics back door of the 54 of Robert Gamble, who had problems earlier in the race. James Vining, the pink and green. 3-3-3 makes the top 20. That's going on to the back straightaway.
Interestingly enough, the Catman did mention before today's race to his fellow competitors, he ran up to 0.3 of a second quicker in qualifying, or rather the practice than he did in qualifying. The time he mentioned he put up in final practice was the 22.6s. If he did that, he would have been starting inside the top 10, half the track position already. It seems as though on the long run, the truck is there, which is a huge thing because he's within a couple tenths of the pace of many of the drivers in the top 10 currently. As he makes the pass on Fletcher, Fletcher gives it up inside, while Lawler dives into the pit lane for the first green flag stop.
So green flag pit stops right before halfway, 10 laps to halfway. And those green flag pit stops are about to get more hot and heavy. Hell, I'll tell you what we'll do. We're coming up on the top of the hour. Pit stops when we come back on deck. We will pause for 10 seconds of station identification on the Community Radio Network of the Northwest Racing Series from Dover.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Back here at Dover, and pit stops are ongoing for green flag. Justin Prince.
Right now, approaching that halfway mark as well for the entire race, but also we are inside the green light on fuel from this point forward to make it a one-stopper on the gas. Just the question, when do drivers elect to come down? And that's not easy as saying, I'm in the window. As we discussed, if you have a caution, you lose up to 2 laps by pitting. That has to be on the minds of so many drivers. It's not a surprise for Lawler. He lost a lap. Why not take the risk? But some of the others might be a little bit nervous since this is a very difficult pit lane to enter, especially under brakes and under green, and also a track where there have been more than 2 hands worth of drivers I've seen blow their tires on the way to the pit lane on their in lap and crash into the pit lane.
So, to sum it up, are your tires good for the race? If you can fill up your fuel, is that the strategy here? Can the tires go the distance?
I mean, I'll put it this way. It depends on your setup. If you have a setup where your right front tire is not setting tire warnings in about 5 minutes from now, you're okay. If you've already gotten a tire warning or get one within the next 5 minutes worth of laps, you might need to think about your strategy because you might go into a wall with a blown tire. Same goes with the right rear. So it's as simple as, how aggressive did you build the setup? How comfortable are you with the said setup? How good is it at tire conservation long run? As well, major critical mark, are you running the right line for the setup to properly have the tire wear balance? Are you overdriving the truck to the point where you're killing the tires?
Very well said and very well put. As we're approaching halfway, green flag. Try to make it work. Try to make it work one more time into the corner. sizing them up back into the back straightaway as Devin West and King battle for the top 5. Reynolds also on looking. Here comes Ritters and White right behind them. And they've not pitted yet, also JP in the 1.
Just passing the halfway mark, not a surprise once again, because usually the trend, go as long as you can. I think these drivers, they might want to limit that final stint on the tires under green, to say the very least. White in the wall, to the inside goes Brightsman. Brightsman still can't clear yet. Chris White gives it to him out of turn 4, that's for 8th.
While all this goes on, Brightsman finally down to the inside. He'll clear by the white machine. Ledbetter patiently behind in the top 10. There's Tyler King. There's Briar Reynolds.
Dennis Moore. Dennis Moore, the race leader, nearly sent the inside wall. We stay green. Moore nearly spun it out, Wesley, down the front stretch in the 44 truck.
But a save there for the 44. Dennis Moore for Win Racing. The pole truck has a scare, but no caution. We stay green after halfway. The leaders are on the back straightaway, and the battle for 5th continues.
Lots of traffic navigation still. Reynolds still stuck behind Tyra King. Important to get this spot at this point, because already Devin West has pulled away a fair distance from this respective group. 1 second. Reynolds inside through 1 and 2. Again, his preferred line, having it lift off the gas of the rotation. King with a better exit.
Reynolds inside. King flip-flopped the numbers just after halfway here at Dover Motor Speedway, and they're not letting the rough side drag at all. The battle continues into 1.
Pit stops underway. Green flag stops. The scheduled stop taken just now by Ryan Bloom, and he had to do this. He was nearly lapped as well. Jeff Stabnow is barely on the lead lap as well. So the drivers who elected to stay out on 20-lap old tires, their gamble not looking great here at right the end of the tape, just about.
Green flag pit stops, as Justin mentioned. Blue on the pit lane.
Chase Vining crashes in the pit lane.
And no caution. This all happened outside of the racetrack in the pit lane entrance area. So a tough break for the 333. He's probably tore his truck up to have a fast repair, Justin Prince, but again, no caution.
James Vining is parked, and as a result of the crash, Chad Alec is now having problems too, apparently, in the pit sequence of the 08 truck. This is a not easy pit lane. Malik has indeed crashed in the barrels and is in a spot where if he moves 1 inch, it triggers the caution. He's towed it instead. We stay green. Malik, the biggest mover before that crash.
Stay in green flag pit stop still continuing in the racing. Hot and heavy in 3.
And I mentioned this before, Wesley. This is not an easy pit lane to enter. If you go too quick, you're crashing it. Already, 2 different drivers have crashed on the pit entry in the past 3 laps, and that might make a lot of these competitors try and be a little bit gambly. After all, there is a casino nearby here in Dover, Delaware, to be able to try and see, can they bank on a caution with how difficult these drivers are having that entry to pit lane.
Here comes Roy Grande. Tedrick on the binders as they come to the pit lane. You mentioned how hard it is to enter and exit off pit road. Elaborate more on that, Justin, as we're seeing green flag pit stops happen.
It's more entry than exit to me, because you have to essentially go right for the banking to a very hard left while making sure you don't leave time on the table, so to speak. And here's the toughest part, those yellow barriers, those water barrels. It's so easy to either miss the pit lane by carrying too much speed by going about 2 truck lengths too deep, or slamming into the barrels instead. What we see with Vining, he ended up carrying so much speed, he hooked it to avoid the barrels and slammed the Armco barrier. So it's so difficult to find that balance of right speed, but also making sure you don't spin it or crash it. Oh, and by the way, don't blow your right front tire and try to slam the brake.
72 of 120 laps. And so far, one yellow flag in the opening 25 laps. This is the longest green flag stretch of the race so far, over 50 laps after halfway, and you settle into over 50 laps to go now.
Drivers coasting away to the pit. Buck is in the pit lane. Cooper, Daggett. In this time of note, Daggett had topped off twice to try and add a bit more fuel. Did not seem to want to go to the long game. Some of the struggles. Jeff Stabnow over the radio indicating a possible pit stop, all while Sean Brightsman to continue his ascension with a battle on Tyler King down the backstretch.
Stabnow commits to pit road. He was 13th. There's now only 15 trucks, 14 trucks on the lead lap. And they might go a lap down as well as Stabnow Gamble pit. Here goes another battle. King up the racetrack. Here comes Brightsman to the bottom, and he's going for 7th.
Already taking more peaks. Brightsman closing the door. Brightsman moving up to 7th. Brightsman's long run truck continuing to sparkle after the struggles in qualifying. Next up, Ryan Reynolds. And now this is the mark where you need to keep your eyes open because one mistake, one slip up, one missed pit call, mind you, and it can lead to calamity, especially since fresh tires coming up right behind.
Green flag pit stops underway here at Dover Motor Speedway. Justin Prince, I'm Leslie Outland, iRacing on LSRTV and the Community Radio Network. Charles Wooten behind the scenes in our broadcast production. Round 7. And green flag pit stops continue. The leader is in.
And it looks like Dan West Jr. electing to counter here, already coming in for the stop. Dennis Moore picking up several seconds in the midst of the traffic. Tyler King also sliding the tires in. We'll see if he picks up a speeding penalty. O'Hare also in. Caution is out.
Well, that changes the entire complexion of everything we just rehearsed and talked about when Moore comes in. Under yellow flag for the second time, Justin. You saw it happen. We're under yellow.
What can I say? This is why you do not pit under green at Dover, because somebody will manage to do this. This is from 58. Trying to make some moves. Stephen Paulison just locks up your steering wheel, or might have been the right front even, you could argue there. Straight to the walls, has to stop. Had issues with the engine too. And that's what happens where you never know what's going to happen at Dover. And can confirm it's technical issues, Stephen Paulison, because his engine got locked at full throttle.
Stephen Paulison crashing, second yellow flag. Anybody else that hasn't pitted or wants to pit for the money stop are coming in now.
This is a huge play, though, for some of the drivers. Devin West, Ryan Gormley, Toby Ritters, Brian Reynolds. Wants those who pick up potential big track position. It is still helpful for a couple of others, but likely going to be a wave around situation for many of the drivers in the field. A very tough call if you're the case of Dan West Jr., Tyler Kane, or Stephen O'Hare, who just took the tires, or better yet, more of those who are on several lap tires, like a Bloom or Frank Harris, who are on double-digit tires.
The race off pit road has now become the race to the finish. 80 down, 40 to go. The finish of round 7 at Dover when we return. This is iRacing on LSRTV and the Community Radio Network with the Northwest Truck Series presented by CLICKIT RV.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Under 40 laps to go. Welcome back to Dover Motor Speedway. Miles the Munster slowly but surely churning and gobbling up some of these contenders. But for other drivers, Justin, they still got a shot like Gormley and West as we prepare for a restart.
13 drivers on the lead lap. This in turn is not a good situation for Ryan Bloom, Frank Harris, Jeff Stalin, and those who are now going to have to battle for the lucky dog. But this is a perfect opportunity for Gormley and Devin West, who are amongst those who stayed out. They get to have the freshest tires, their competitors a couple laps on their tires, and the lots of track position so critical. Gormley did have solid speed. Now it's the question, can he hold on? But the trouble is, Devin West didn't quite too.
And Gormley pulls away way fast than the outside truck of West, but he is the leader. It's all fair. We're back to green with 36 to go when they come to the line.
Gormley amongst those banking with the faster pair early. Brightsman amongst those looking to battle a little bit earlier. Brian Reynolds looking to charge the corner harder out of turn 4. Runs it away a little bit. Brightsman stays with the line. The top 5 build up a cushion of half a second.
It's Gormley, West, Ritters, Reynolds, Brightsman. I know it sounds like a riddle, but that's the way the top 5 are. Single file, they are going to 3.
Already some aggression I've noticed in the backdrop. A little calm in the most of the field. Dennis Moore is not being calm. Moore joining the backdrop in the battle between Ledbetter and White. Has passed 3 trucks in the past 3 corners. Moore now joins the back end of Lowther. Also look to battle with White and Ledbetter. White looking to battle as well as Moore looks to get around the lap truck.
Ledbetter now with those Lowe's Jimmy Johnston throwback colors, if you will, to the inside. White will follow. Here comes also Moore, the pole truck, creeping back into the top 10. I mean, into 1 and 2, with Lowther behind.
Moore looking to poke underneath now, though. He is not really saving the tires, to say the least, with how he's charging back to the inside. White with the defense, now poking his way underneath Ledbetter. 3 trucks looking to battle it out. Now for the 7th position. Better run for Ledbetter, but better entry for White into 1.
And by the way, Dan Lowther 3 laps down as a pick amongst all this lead lap battling going on to the back straightaway inside. Here comes White. He'll carry Moore with him. He'll clear by Ledbetter. He shoots him up the racetrack as he goes after Johnson out of 4.
Johnson getting a little loose, holding off to the top side. Moore still holding side by side with White. Hard corner charge again. Check up for Johnson. White lane and a half up, gives space to Moore. On a turn 2. We're looking to reset. No, still holds on to the inside, wanting White to reset himself.
Johnson, one of the newest members for Team LSRTV, battles. He got tagged by the pole truck of Moore. He spins and smacks the inside wall. Stalls on the racetrack. Caution out for the 3rd time. It happened off of turn number 4. It happened off turn 4, Justin, and I was just about to say that, my friend. You could see that coming for Johnson in 7th.
Yeah, but the amount of checking up that Moore was doing, you can almost sense it with how Johnson was struggling a little bit compared to corner exit speed. It also didn't help in the case of Johnson's situation. I think it was just starting to get really loose. You can see that tail end just wiggling. And sometimes you get that if your truck's not comfortable in the short one. Also, there is another caveat to where you get loose like that. You actually feel that sense if you're within about a third to a tenth of a truck length like that. And unintentionally, in some cases, based on your setup, can make you loose, and we just seen that. Play some pit stop games.
Gormley psyching everybody coming down to pit road. Devin West, Toby Ritters, man. Hey, listen, I know we mentioned it earlier, but what a drive for Toby Ritters. He sits in 3rd, the CLICKIT RV, Win Racing number 23, got a great run going for him. And again, as I mentioned, maybe a little bit of lady luck today because his wife, Bailey, part of the Ritters family, celebrating a birthday today. As I mentioned as we came on the air, Justin, happy birthday to her. And maybe that's a little ump to try to want to win for the wife on birthday. Happy wife, happy life.
I mean, want to win no matter what. It's an extra little caveat if you can win for your family, or your case, your significant other or spouse. So in the case of Ritters, though, it's the question mark of how he does long run, because I think that's where his strength has been throughout this race today. Gormley's been better short run. Devin West has been good on the short run and mid run for the most so far. Has made some solid positions up in the long run too. Here's my major issue with that part that could spoil that chance if we get a long run to the end. Dennis Moore sending it. Dennis Moore is not taking any prisoners, so to speak, to the point where if you leave him any door, he will slam that door open, bolt it open, dive through the open door, and then make sure it stays shut once he's finished with the open door. That's how the 44's been since the caution flag.
We reset. Ryan Gormley. I've said it several times this year, if you will, Justin. He has just been an amazing addition to the Northwest family in his rookie season. And the Wrestler Motors number 22 is looking at the opportunity, besides when he got caught up in that big accident at Texas where he about won in overtime, to put his Chevrolet and the pieces together for checkmate and a win for the Northwest driver in the 22's rookie year.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Gormley on the mile-and-a-half circuits. When he's kept it clean, again, has been the major emphasis I've said each time in that mark. Again, 50% top 5 rate, 50% crash rate. I will say this, the short track speed's been okay so far. He had a rough race at Bristol. Dover seems to be more up to his speed since it drives more differently compared to the very quick braking marks at Bristol. It's more lift, half throttle, and then roll to the corner here at Dover. Seems to be fitting how that truck, and in terms of how he likes to drive his trucks, how he's been doing here tonight.
Cloud cover again over the racetrack as we're approaching now under 30 laps to go. 7 laps to lap 127. laps to the finish. Lights off on the pace car. They will come back steaming the speed of the Geico restart zone, and they're going to be snarling, and they're going to be growling, not only for Devin West, but definitely Ryan Gormley. And hungry indeed is Ritters and Reynolds right there behind him in row 2. Field coming to the line, ready for green. Gormley, I think it's the first time he'll fire off as the leader this season as well. As they come to the stripe, pace cars in, Justin. We're backing away. What a restart for Gormley. Awesome home shot into turn 1.
West able to keep up. Gormley puts the right rear fender in the wall, adds a little more damage to the 22 truck. Reynolds stuck on the outside as well. That drops him out of the top 5. Meanwhile, though, Dennis Moore, front nose damage. How will the truck fare out? He looked to charge the back end of some of the others as they back side by side. Multiple rows deep and through 3 and 4.
That's Brightsman, Reynolds, and White. This is for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Now, DWJ, Ledbetter, get in the battle also as they work into 2.
To the back straightaway, 3 wide as O'Hare looking to hold off a few drivers like Tarek and his teammate. Hold him off to the inside line, able to ride the bottom of the racetrack as they clear by Ledbetter in the midst of the craziness.
That might be teammates for Beaver State Racing, but the gloves are off now as we're approaching triple digits and 20 to go. Gormley the leaders, now O'Hare in front of King, and King wants it back to 3.
King drags the wall though, pushes him up the track. He gets the diamond line off turn 4, builds the buffer now on Ledbetter. Ledbetter slides up, he only takes the wall. Of note amongst those towards the front now in the final 24 laps, Dennis Moore is up the 3rd Wesley. Devin West, though, is still keeping Gormley at bay, so a lot of contenders looking for a shot.
Dennis Moore, the man on a mission, as you mentioned right now, as he's single file in front of him for the leaders, and clean air for Gormley. But West behind, Moore reeling him in, so is Ritters and Brightsman. Top 5 are in turn 2.
Become one of those types of races where it's mid-run / long run speed that's going to win you this race. Ledbetter, rather Gormley I should say, has been very strong short run. Devin West, mid-run. Moore, long run, as well as the mid-run. So now it's the patience game. Who's going to have the best truck when the checker flag waves? It might not necessarily be this exact order, let's put it that way, because that's the way Dover works.
Off of 4, back to the line. Reynolds in trouble. Briar Reynolds, 12, high of the racetrack. Everyone else passing him on the bottom. And he is free falling what might have been for the 12.
Here it is with contact. O'Hare, turn 3. O'Hare has a giant truck-sized dent to the right front fender and nose for reference. So both those trucks likely now going to start to go backwards. Also, smoke starting to kick up and parks the racetrack from that slide. Keep in mind, though, Brett Johnson on the freshest tires of the field has about 6-7 lap pressure green flag lap tires. Going to try and see if those can help at all to regain track position. He looked for 12.
Under 20 laps to go. Truck slaps off the outside. Safer barrier in turn number 3. Gormley still the leader. There is Hare. King right there going at it for Beaver State Racing. Ledbetter looking on. Oh, and mind you, 14 trucks are on the lead lap. It is Frank Harris, the last truck on the lead lap. And the drivers, Justin, that are 1st and 2nd in the points, Ryan Bloom and Stabdown, are 1 lap down with under 20 to go.
And that just shows the choice they made early in the race to hope for precautions to get a bit fresher tires for a long green flag run. Did not work. Ryan Bloom was the closest of the two to get the lucky dog. Harris got it on the last caution flag instead in the midst of the traffic. So now they're paying the price. Now it's the matter of hoping if there's anything luck-wise that can go their way, try and salvage more points here with under 20 laps to go. They need 2 cautions. They might need at least 2.
Gormley, West, Moore, Brightsman, Ritters, top 5. White, West, there they are. That's your 7 trucks, single file, 16 to go here at Dover.
Still working ahead to be able to sort things for Devin West. Now pressure by Dennis Moore. West starting to lose ground to Ryan Gormley. Moore looking to try and turn up the heat. All 3 drivers, though, in the top 3, mind you, are in the same ballpark. 23.6s, 1/10 of a second quicker than the field outside of Tyra King. That's going to make it even more difficult to truly make the move. Moore needs that little edge better by a couple of years a lap, though. Will that be enough to make the passes he needs?
14 laps to go when they come to the line. There you see now the driver, Dennis Moore, pole truck, going after the number 5 Win Racing Team LSRTV. And the rookie Gormley leads them. He's looking for that first win with 13 to go.
Line up the racetrack for West. Devin Moore inside, charges hard underneath Devin West. Devin Moore to second, half a second the difference between first and second with 13 to go.
Down into the corner. Gormley holding on to that spot. He's got about half a second distance, maybe 3/4 of a second from Gormley to West. And caution is out. It all goes away. Yellow flag flies. This changes everything. Yellow flag out for the 4th time here at Dover.
Chris Kynes, truck number 20, the issue. He had troubles during the last green flag run. We mentioned turn 4 being an attrition point. It ends up being one for Kynes because the second he tries to exit the corner, lot of steering in it, too tight. You see it right there. He's carrying too much throttle, slams the wall. No room behind for Roy Grande, and Kynes in turn goes around, and that is a huge caution for Ryan Bloom and a few others who were stuck a lap down prior to it.
Tough break for the team Realtree number 20 of Chris Kynes. His Chevrolet Silverado beaten, battered, and banged as he gets ready to come back down to the pit lane, and it's a feeding frenzy. Everybody's coming down to pit road. It's the money stop for the finish with 12 to go.
Oh, and Tyra King elected not to pit there, intriguingly enough. King electing to not peel down, everybody else in. Now it's the question, who has the best pit box time? Already a 2-tire stop for Sean Brightsman at Dover. That's a call. Will that work? Will anyone else match Brightsman for the track position?
Keep an eye on the buyer. He goes. Sean Brightsman, 2 tires. He beats everyone out, but remember, they are going for 4. Moore off pit road. He got passed by Gormley and possibly Devin West. Ritters to follow. And while this all shuffles back around, Tyler King, Justin Prince, did not pit. That's a gamble we've seen the guy behind him like Sean Brightsman do before in days of old.
Yeah, I'm not surprised Brightsman tried it at least, because that's, well, it's in his playbook, right? So now it's the question, does it work? Here's the bigger gamble is Tyler King stayed out of the racetrack. I am not sure this is going to work as well as he's hoping here if he does stay out. And that's the question mark to me.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was going to say those other trucks that are in front of the pace or behind the pace car and the leader, Tyler King, are drivers that are a lap down, and they are taking the wave around whenever the 1-to-go indication is given. That will put guys like Jeff Stabnow and anyone else that's going to be takers an opportunity to go back on the lead lap.
Yeah, now it's that tough part. I'm intrigued, though, that Jeff Stabnow did not attempt to take the waiver. I think, you know what? I almost wonder if
they
it
got
was
to
a
wait for the 1-to-go?
Yeah, the reason why Stabnow had to pit is because King didn't pit. He couldn't take the tires right.
That's right.
Or he couldn't take the wave, so he had to why not take tires at that point? And now Stabnow has to hope for another caution here, which in this point may be a possibility with Tyra King on much older tires, he needs them to bunch up behind.
And make no doubt about it, it's going to be an all-out brawl when they come back to the green flag. It's not only just going to be Miles the Munster trying to chop them up virtually. These drivers are going to be chomping at the bit to go after one another as well. This will give us a chance to thank Brian Morehouse, my friend at NASCAR, and Virginia 811 Call Before You Dig to show you the summary of where we are right now. 4 cautions in a 120-lap race, 14 caution laps with under 10 to go, and 4 lead changes. And if you're Tyler King, you're gonna fight and claw and gouge all you can to get that whole shot. I know he's gonna be the first truck to fire on the restart though, but Justin, we kind of see Sean Brightsman. Is that a little intimidation, if you will, revving alongside the 21 to just show I got new tires and I got more power?
I don't know if it's necessarily in terms of that kind of play. I think it's more so just getting yourself psyched up for the green flag, because he has to know if he gets the start right, he likely pulls up towards the front. How long that lasts is going to be difficult to say.
Go time at Dover. Field comes back to the Geico restart zone, and King says go, and go in a hurry. He pulls away from the outside lane of Brightsman. They finally start to reel him back in. It's King to the lead, though, with 8 to go on the bottom out of 2.
2 tires not working for Brightsman, and quickly, Gormoy for the race lead in through turn 3. Dives it underneath King. Gormoy to the point. Here comes Devin West and Tyler King now look to try and find it. Dennis Moore looks to slide with Moore as well.
But fading back is the 21 of Tyler King.
Caution.
We got another caution. Yellow flag will fly for the 5th time. And this might set up overtime depending on the time of remaining of the race. The caution is out for the 5th time. Justin, what you got?
Brian Reynolds, truck number 12. Take a look, it's the battle with O'Hare. They already had contact earlier in the race. No contact here, it's more so just a mistake from Reynolds coming off of turn 4. Because if you try and power it too low, you end up getting yourself to where you just snap loose. He just snaps it loose to the inside wall, up the track. A lot of drivers lucky not to make contact. Aaron Cooper, not so much, does pick up contact from it.
Yeah, just tagged the, if you will, the right rear of a 71 truck off the 12 of Reynolds. And Justin, you know Jeff Stabnow's coming to pit road. Or at least, well, no, he can't. He's way back a lap down, Meyer to lap down. So, unless they take a wave around. But, man, what a restart for Ryan Gormley. I mean, you just said he'd come out of a rocket out of a cannon in that 22 truck.
Yeah, that was a great restart for Gormley down that back straightaway. He knew he needed to do that pass before losing the chance to get to the bottom through turn 3 if he wanted to take this race lead. Here's the tough part. Can he hold on for 1, 2, how many ever restarts left to go? He just needs to do this for 2 more laps or so, and he's in a great spot here. Toughest thing with the time to the caution, and with Stabnow not able to take the best of pit stop sequences, didn't get the lucky dog either. So at this point, Bloom likely going to gain a lot of points on Stabnow because he's on the lead lap, and Stabnow, the highest he can get is 16th. 17th.
And amongst all this going on, Justin, the question remains, can we finish the regular scheduled distance, or are we probably going to set ourselves up for overtime number 1?
And it's more so up to the field. I understand the move King and Brightsman moved up they made, but it's pretty clear it's not worked out the greatest in terms of what they may have expected here. That might be where some of the bottleneck is a little bit towards the back as well, and some of those drivers who are struggling in terms of tire sets available. But I think for the most part, it's 2 laps. If you break it down simply, it's a 50-second run to the finish. How hard is it to run 50 seconds under green?
to answer your question, you would think it would be easy, but you got a lot of drivers chomping at the bit looking for that checkered flag, no doubt. They're going to come to the line, and it looks like lights might go off on the pace car. We're at 4 to go now. If they come back around and cycle to the white or the green, it will be 3 to go at 1 to go, 2 to go on the original race distance. So it would be an original finish with green-white checker. Now, if they go another lap under caution, Justin, as you mentioned, then we will be no way possible able to go to. We'll have to go into overtime 1.
Very intrigued on how this could play out, to say the very least. It's just a matter, though, of how does Devin West try and get a pass done? How does Dennis Moore get a pass done? Because this plays into Gormley's wheelhouse. The short run, it's been his strength, to say the very least. Can he do it?
Lights are off of the pace car, as you see. It will be a green-white checker, original distance. Yellow flag comes out before the white flag, and we are going to overtime. This is the original distance of the race, lap 117 of 120. They're working lap 118 at the green. Gormley West on the front row. Ryan Gormley looking to make history in his rookie season and join the fraternity of Northwest Racing Series brethren if he can hold off. One more restart here at Dover, Justin. They're coming to the green flag. Gormley, West, side by side. Coming back to the Geico restart zone. Gormley takes off, pulls away, looking for the win. 2 to go at Dover, he's in 1.
Looking to try and go to the bottom side more, already moving into the 3rd spot. White's been a better launch as he tries to get around King. Dan West Jr. looking to get around all of them as they work their way towards the white flag.
Working off of turn number 4, down to the line. White flag in the air, 1 more lap to go. Ryan Gormley pulls away from West & Company. He's looking for his first career win on the backstretch.
Gormley in a great spot, looking to try and make 1 more set of corners. Works his way up high. Devin West not able to close up as they work their way through 4.
He will make the 6th different winner in 7 races and the first-time winner of the Northwest Racing Series. Ryan Gormley beats Dover. Devin West will finish 2nd. Dennis Moore going 3rd. And for Ryan Gormley, the celebration is on for the 22. Congratulations. Wow, Justin, that Chevrolet just in a class of a field different level. Besides Dennis Moore, finally everything falls in place for Gormley and he wins in the Northwest Series.
And that's what I think it just needed to take for him. He had good speed in the 1.5 miles. I noticed that when he kept it clean, he was a contender. Tonight, he kept it clean for the most part. Even with the damage, it didn't really seem to slow him down, but he really benefited, I should say, from some of the cautions. That was, I think, the biggest play.
Enjoy the Northwest high five salute, my friend, as they are tearing him up at Virtual Dover. 2-time champion Dan West Jr. giving him a nod. Frank Harris, the legend, trying to go in reverse and give him a punt. And Ryan Gormley will park his truck at Victory Lane as you watch at the bottom of the monitor. And he picks up the win here. 6 different winners in 7 races now for 2023 and season 10 of the trucks for the Northwest. Ryan Gormley, the winner. Devin West, second. Gormley got that great restart. That's all it took. Dennis Moore, what might have been for the pole truck, he'll finish third. Dan West Jr., 4th. And Christopher White, your top 5. Jaden Ledbetter, well, Bailey, it's not a win, but Toby Ritters does get a top 10 out of the deal. 7th for the 23, Stephen O'Hare. Frank Harris, what a drive for him. And Roy Grande, Justin, having problems earlier in the race. He finishes in a solid top 10.
11th spot tonight going the way of Tyler King. The old tires did not work his way. Chris Kynes, after his crash, still finishes in 12th. Brett Johnson, after his in 13th. Brian Reynolds, Ryan Bloom, Sean Brightsman, top 16. Brightsman 1 lap down at the end of the race. Stabnow, Gambill, Cooper, and Dagan, top 20.
21st, William Fletcher. Dan Lowther, all these trucks multiple laps down at the end of the race. Dan Lowther, 22nd. Tyler Kim, 23rd. John Annenbacher was 24th. BJ Tidrick was 25th. Stephen Paulison, 26th. Chad Malik was 27th. James Vining, 28th. Kevin Smith, the virtual internet gremlins, visit the 00 again. He's 29th. And Carl Burke will have to settle for 30th after being tattooed with John Annenbacher. One more look at the Virginia 811 call before you dig analysis recap. Caution information summary here at Dover. 5 cautions, 19 caution laps of 120 laps the race distance. Lead changes were 5. That's brought to you by Virginia 811, reminding you to call before you dig. Dig with care. Coming up, post-race wrap-up, we grab the top 3 and we enshrine with his first winning interview, Ryan Gormley, to the Northwest family. Don't go anywhere. The Northwest Racing Series trucks presented by CLICKIT RV, returning when we come back on LSRTV's coverage of iRacing and simulcast on Community Radio Network. Welcome back to Dover Motor Speedway, round 7 of the Northwest Racing Series trucks presented by CLICKIT RV in the books. 6 different winners and now 7 races, and Ryan Gormley is that driver. We'll talk to him in Victory Lane in just a moment. But first, we'll grab our 3rd place finisher, pole truck Dennis Moore. Dennis for Win Racing, another solid podium. You'll finish 3rd. What's your take of the strategy, right or wrong, that didn't let you get the win, but again, still a solid finish of 3rd?
Yeah, you know what, just bad luck. I feel like we had the best truck out there, but congrats to Ryan. He was good on the short run. We just had a little more speed on the long run. It was a lot of fun, though.
Seemed like the type of race when it comes to your way, it seemed tonight that a lot had to go towards your direction. It seemed, though, the caution really mixed things up. How would you describe that from your perspective once you knew that caution?
Though, for the 44.
Yeah, it was good. We were up in, I think, 3rd place. We missed a race, too, so we're doing all right. I'd like to thank you guys, LSRTV, everyone from Northwest Racing Series, CLICKIT RV as the league sponsor and the sponsor of my truck, and everybody at Win Racing. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, one of the drivers for Win Racing, no doubt, of course, Dennis Moore. And by the way, he also has a win earlier this year as well. One of those drivers of the 6 now different winners, as of course he picked up the win back at Homestead in March, the number 44 of Dennis Moore. Runner-up for the race, Devin West, driver of the number 5 in Shelton, Washington. Your take of tonight's event? You'll settle for a 2nd spot.
Yeah, 2nd again. I feel like that's like probably a record. I feel like that's all I get second. I mean, yeah, good job to Ryan. He definitely had the truck in those short runs. I did everything I could, and like Ryan said, or like Dennis said, just a little bad luck. It felt like. I mean, I feel like on those last few restarts, for multiple races in a row now, just never really pans out how I want it to. But no, that's how it goes. I mean, I was driving on the freeway, driving home when the judgment started tonight. So to get second, it's kind of crazy.
First non-super speedway race of the season, mind you, as well. Your first race in about more than a month, in fact, throughout the entire race. But in terms of your battling throughout the field, how difficult was it to position yourself where you need to be in this race tonight? You did lead some laps, but just seemed to not be able to get by Gormley. How difficult was it in that circumstance to make the pass for the lead?
Super difficult. I mean, from the get-go, from lap one, I mean, if you're not the leader, it feels like you're always not where you want to be. You have a guy pushing you harder lap after lap than you want to be, using your tires up. You know, and it always felt like you'd save your tires, and by the time your tires start to come in and start getting some speed, there'd be caution. So just one of those races. It's unfortunate. And I think tonight just goes to show just how perfect and how lucky you had to be to win these things. I mean, that pit stop on the first caution, or second caution I think it was, I just overshot my pit box by, had to have been half an inch, and Ryan beat me out of the pits, and that's really what lost it for me. So yeah, I mean, I think I referenced my Xfinity races when I say that this is one race in a row now. I've got second and just can't seem to freaking get it at the end.
Devin, real quickly, I'll let you segue this to the thanking your sponsors, but man, you've been at that level that Ryan Gormley's been at before. What's it mean to finally be a winner on the Northwest Series?
Huge. I don't know, is this Ryan's first win?
It is.
Congrats to Ryan. That's always a good thing. Always fun to see. No, Ryan's fast. Ryan's been fast all season. He's always pretty clean, so I have no problems with that. I mean, it feels great. Haven't done it before. We won the series enough times. To win in the series, like I said, you got to be perfect, and even if you're the best right here, it takes some luck. I mean, Dennis will tell you that 20 times. So, yeah, no, shout out to my sponsors, AWS, Effective Solutions, Kingston Hardwood, Orange Distributing, obviously LSRTV. Open booth, you guys are just a blast. Go back and watch after the race, and look at RV for sponsoring the series.
Second spot going to the driver again out of Shelton, Washington, and that is, of course, Devin West. No doubt about it, one of those absolutely contenders that has been a part of the Northwest Series off and on for a long time with father, two-time champion Dan West Jr., and now we enshrine another winner of the Northwest family. Winner tonight at Dover. I said he's been my underdog favorite all season just by his performances on the track. Ryan Gormley, you're finally a winner of the trucks. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Wesley. I appreciate it. It's finally to be on the right side of luck, as those guys before had said. But I think not only that, making some changes when the track changed and you know, strategy too.
Strategy really flipped on its head, it seemed, when the caution came out. You were amongst those who stayed out at the top of the caution flag. Worked out as you ran into the top positions for much of the rest of the way. First, the reaction to that said caution, to the pressure then that built up, knowing you had Devin West behind you, and Dennis Moore trying to pass everybody at every single second to catch you back up.
Yeah, like they said, I mean, they had really good long stretch speed, and so that first green flag run, though, I did learn something. I made some adjustments, and so yeah, they were definitely fast, but I think those last few cautions for sure were in my favor.
You know, I'm a stat guy, Ryan. Obviously, that's how I prep and prepare for real race broadcasts, and the same thing for iRacing. 14 career Northwest Racing Series starts. Your 15th one is a victory.
Yeah, wow, thank you. It's been that many already. Cool.
Got to be also a good news to know that with this win, you bumped up 2 spots and you're now second in the point standings for a championship.
Yeah, definitely. Feels good. Had a couple throwaway races for sure, but like I said before, I mean, it's good to be on the good side of the luck and being able to play into the strategy, how the track changed and all that.
Well, buddy, it's your victory lane first time ever. I hope you know how to do it. Hope you've rehearsed it. Thank your sponsors and all the people that help you in the 22. Congratulations. You're now the 6th different winner of 7 races this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'd like to thank my sponsors. I guess that's Wrestler Motors. It's where I work, so you can come buy a new Chevrolet or Cadillac from me, or any new pre-owned vehicle out there. And the Natter Days is just kind of a fun scheme, so I'll probably change that up later on in the year. But also like to thank my girlfriend Haley. She sticks with me throughout, my real racing career. I actually race on dirt out here in Bozeman, so that and you guys, definitely LSRTV put on a really good show, and I couldn't be out here without CLICKIT RV, and so thank you.
In his 14th career start, actually his 15th start, he puts it in victory lane finally with the Northwest Racing Series Truck Division, the driver of the number 22, Ryan Gormley, here tonight at Dover Motor Speedway. By the way, the points have updated. Ryan Bloom still holds on to the points lead. Ryan Gormley is now second. Dennis Moore, Toby Ritters, Christopher White, your top 5. Jeff Stabnow falls back 4 spots to 6th. Dan West Jr., Stephen Paulison, Stephen O'Hare, John Odenbacher, your top 10. Justin Prince, your final thoughts of Dover. And buddy, we're going dirt track racing next week at Knoxville.
Well, the dirt race is going to be very intriguing because 300 laps is the current distance. I do not know how they will last the 300 laps. In all seriousness, tonight's race is going to end up being an intriguing one and played out exactly how I thought it was. Whoever stayed out the longest puts himself in the best position to win the race in the end. And because the time of the caution flag, albeit due to a technical issue with Steve Paulison's wheel, Gormley and West definitely benefit from the track position. Gormley, in turn, had the better short-run truck to be able to hold up off the rest of the pack at the end.
In closing, we're in the meat of the schedule now, right here, where it's meat and potatoes right now for 8, 9, and 10 coming up. Knoxville, Darlington, Worldwide Technology, all the way to Charlotte before Memorial Day break. And, of course, you want to check out, as always, the coverage. iRacing on LSRTV, at LSRTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and at Sierra Sports as well, and Northwest Racing Series. Thanks again to CLICKIT RV. For Charles Wooten, our producer-director, everybody at Rocket Racing Media, and Jeff Stabnow. For Justin Prince, I'm Wesley Outland. Congratulations again to Ryan Gormley, winner tonight, taming, beating, defeating, conquering Miles the Munster here at Dover.